Clayton Davis of WordCircuit.com. My question is for Kristen Stewart. How you doing?
Good.
You have 3 films playing. I'm sorry. You have 3 films playing at the festival. This, Personal Shopper, and Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. I just wanted to know, in this time in your career, what are you finding yourself most attracted to in terms of roles and these different roles that you're taking at this point?
Oh, good stuff, you know? Yeah, I typically don't have to spend more than like 5 minutes in a room with someone to know if I want to explore something with them. And I've just been kind of navigating it like that. And I've worked recently with like a lot of people that I've grown up really loving, which is a great thing. And I feel it's like super lucky and super conducive to making like good shit. And because I think I have pretty good taste. But also like, at the same time, like I really love like not knowing that something's going to be good and spending a few minutes with someone and going, shit, you've never done this before? Well, let's do it now. So I don't, there's no like formula. That's so not how you're ever going to make anything worthwhile. It's like, yeah, I'm really not precious about it. I've just gotten super lucky lately. Yep.
Kelly, what was it in these stories that drew you to make this movie?
The stories are from a Montana-based writer, Miley Malloy. She's not Montana-based anymore, but she's from Montana. And I had done 4 films with Jonathan Raymond out in Oregon, and he had children, and wanted to pay attention to them or something, and work on his novel. So I was left on my own, and I came upon her stories, and it was a new landscape to investigate, and all the characters were really part of the environment they were in, and so it seemed like I liked all these great women characters that were sort of alienated to the people that were closest to them, but somehow making connections to people that were strangers. And so those sorts of things were kind of the leading threads.
Microphone, sure, please.
Kelly, you seem to be able to find the mysterious in the quotidian, and it's almost like a witness quality to it. Is that a lot from the writing, or is that also your sensibility?
I'm not
I'd say every day instead of quotidian.
Yeah, I was being interviewed by Richard Hell once, and he just started shaking his head like in disappointment, going, "You're so nuts and bolts." And I was like, I am. The everyday? Well,
that's pretty much layman's language.
The small strokes, is that what we talk about? Yeah, I am interested in I really like filming processes of whatever that is, you know, walk across the country, build a fire, build a bomb, go to work, feed a horse. I do like small processes, and you know, Nanook at the north, I could watch it all day, build an igloo, you know, so I'm just trying to work some story into that sort of thing, and I don't know, I've sort of come to realize that all the films, and this one included at the end up being a lot about driving from point A to point B, and people were walking, but getting to and fro seems to be where a lot of things take place. But I mean, the process has a nice place to start and things to do, and keeps people active. So.
active and healthy.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it keeps people doing things so they, in a way, I don't know, you can ask these guys about that. So there's not really, so, I don't know, is this fair to say? So in a way, like dealing with an animal or building something or having to something deal with a really windy day in the scene you guys have, I mean, it does take, makes, is there less acting in a way? I don't know if you can say it that way.
Reacting.
I think it's more like you just get more to chew on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I didn't go through the process of doing anything, but no, really, I did nothing. But
We're doing that long drive to.
You just didn't see that.
Having to process those bad cheese sandwiches.
And teaching.
Yeah,
Teaching the process.
totally. You see really like a little bit of that too. You watch her, you know. But the thing that I really dig about, not to talk about it while you're sitting right here, but most people do not focus on.
Quantity is a whole other level. We'll talk about that later.
It takes forever. It's like people go, oh no, but like what's the most important part? Like where's, like show me the moment where something happens. And that's like what we're used to seeing in movies. And like if you can look at the stuff that goes on in between stuff, like getting to and fro and stuff like that, that's like when things start to wane. And it's really vulnerable to like not play something or not be expected to play something. And like you all of a sudden you start revealing things rather than like displaying them. And that's what I love about her movies. That's the thing. Yeah.
Well, actually, it's interesting because you just said the different movies. When you were talking about this poem, it said, did you guys think of yourself, I mean, Lily and Kristen were in the same movie, but did you think of yourself as being in separate movies? It's interesting.
I was thinking the difference of this movie.
Oh, you were?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very
No, well, they weren't really there at the same time.
Right. Yeah. And whereas movies quite distinct and then it's a situation coming from it.
And I think, I mean, I can speak from my experience of it, but I'm assuming we probably all shared this, even though we're within our own movie, there was a longing to feel the connection so that we were fulfilling the collaborative role that we were asked to do by Kelly, but it was, it's elusive and subtle, and like what Kristen was talking about, the thing I admire so much about Kelly's work and why I was so thrilled to be invited to this journey is that she is interested in the life that happens in the pauses. And, as an actor, that you get to come into that space. And it is the space where no one's watching that you reveal the most of yourself. And each of us got to do that and then perhaps consider how we were telling the same story. And I think even through the press, we're starting to have conversations about what that is in new ways that we didn't necessarily even know when we were making it.
Into like all of these little tidbits. I'm like, really? No.
Yeah.
In interviews.
Lily, you were going
I was saying, though, in the edit, like you were saying, you find a lot more, and then the more you watch it, you remember making choices, whether they were really, really clear or vague, something that you're just sitting with and kind of letting digest in your gut, and then little burps of emotion coming out. But yeah, the edits that Kelly found in the story, the choices that we ultimately made, revealed a lot of who the rancher became. Because it's a huge process, the rancher that we tried out in a lot of different ways, and the rancher that's on in the film. So I found the takes and I found the character choices that I made, and Kelly saw the takes that had those little through lines in them. And yeah, I don't know, I'm just getting a little off topic about all the stories.
Not really.
I don't know.
Microphone down here.
There's so many great gestures, but there was one that startled me, and that was in the diner when you are wiping your mouth with the napkin still wrapped around the cutlery. That is terrific. I've never seen anyone do that.
Yeah, it was quite startling.
It's funny because you're actually like somebody said that to me earlier today. They were like, tell me person. I have no idea what you're talking about. She doesn't have time, you know? Like, I don't know, stuff on your face and just get it off. And, yeah. Go. Yeah, she's so distracted and self-absorbed, so unbelievably self-involved. Like, there's just not a...
Oh, she's busy.
She's, you know what, you're very sweet. Yeah, but yeah, no. But what... Why? I'm like so curious. Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah.
Well, somebody who doesn't even take the time to unwrap the cutlery.
That is, it is just so telling.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's, there is a knife inside, I suppose, too. So there's
Volley.
On a quotidian level.
Kristen thought that's how everyone in Montana eats.
Orange.
Very orange.
Orange bag.
So you've seen me. Wonderful performances by all of these wonderful women. But I have to ask Terry a question. It's kind of, both Kristen and Laura are playing lawyers. Was Michelle's character supposed to be a lawyer too? I forget what her profession was.
Why are you
Or
so
we know
lawyer?
she doesn't have a profession.
It's funny when you start to scout around the country. Like I was scouting Boise for a while, and I thought, oh, I wonder if there's any lawyers' offices. And then you realize, in every town I scouted, there's lawyers in medical buildings, and that's really what there is. Even out west, it's just like, where's the feed store? It's like lawyer, medical building, lawyer. It wasn't said what Michelle's character was. At times we talked about her being a lawyer. It seemed too heavy to put that in. At times I thought she might work for an ad agency.
She seemed like a professional.
Yeah, she's from California, moving to Montana, in my mind, yeah. I think Mylene Malloy wrote about lawyers a lot because I think her parents are lawyers.
Is that it? Interesting answer. Yeah, because I like
Go ahead, Jeff.
I want to also thank each of the actors that are present and the ones that are not for being in this film. It's a small film, it's a beautiful film, and your work is stunning individually. I wanted to ask Kelly a question about landscape and field vision. It seems to be, when I first saw this film some time ago, one image stuck in my mind. It's in the stable, and there's a window in the back that looks out on the prairie, and the horses go in and out of that. That's the one I carried all the images that I did for the film. So I want you to, your characters seem to be rooted as secondary almost to the landscape in most of the work. And the script itself, for me, is like a Pinterest script. They say things to each, the actors decide words.
sorry.
What's underneath of that is what really captures me. About where the communication is not in the words, but it's like a tree or a river or a waterfall. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I wish I was better at articulating these things. There is a rule on set between me and Chris Blauvelt, my cinematographer I'm looking up for, but that there can be no beauty or landscape for its own sake. That it has to somehow be working in the movie. It has to be serving something. Same with an animal, that it can't be for the sake of sentiment and, and how to, I guess I could talk about like maybe Robert Adams or some of the photographers who really capture the West. It's all sort of though about man's footprint in it, and there's a painter I like in Oregon, Michael Brophy, who also paints. They're landscape paintings, but you can't ever escape that there's this the tracks of where we've been, and I guess I'm really not answering the question well, but I do sort of have a feeling about a lot of the places we really do leave the most beautiful shots behind us, and it can't. I just wouldn't want the landscape to take over a character or try to get something across. It can get across loneliness, and you can look small in it, but it's a fine line. Like I don't want it to play the sentiment or if it's not sort of working for you, it tends to take away something. And so I guess it's where they fit in it, and the goal is, how to get sort of physicalize what's internal without having to do it through dialogue. That's like one of the main goals. So there's I like the dialogue in the film and in my little stories, but I am interested in sort of how the frame can work and what you can get across with a cut or with how someone moves the frame.
It's totally not true. Even if the result of it makes you think it, we were trying, yeah.
Sometimes you need a pay days. All right.
No, but the thing is, actually, just to say very quickly, because everyone thinks it's like a thing where you're like, no, it's one for me, one for them. I just got really lucky on that one.
I was talking about.
Yeah, this is the one for us.
Easy.
Firestorm. Yeah.
I was sick the last few days, so now I'm like, hey.
I'm wondering about the subject of love. It seems that so many of the men and some of the women had terrific needs. They were sort of needy people, and they wanted to connect, and the connections were really limited. So I thought it was really wonderful the milkshake scene where he's in jail and you're able to reach out to him in that way and sort of be attuned for the moment. And when Michelle Williams was serving the hamburgers, there was so much disconnection there and so much unattunement, but yet they were able to accept something. So I thought the tension was really interesting, how there were so many needy people and so many disconnections. I'm wondering if you had any comments about that.
Well, I'll just speak to the one scene that I was fascinated by, and probably the aspect of the character that Kelly and I talked about the most, really, in comparison to the love scene that sort of opens that story, to the milkshake moment, and what does it mean? Because one of the things I'm so grateful for, of the many things I am as a fan of Kelly's work and such an admirer, is the incremental growth of human beings. And there's no need to get to a certain place with their characters, but again, within these pauses, we see where longing takes you if you stick with it. And through the character of Laura's journey, oh my god, that's my name too, so it's really easy. That's why I picked it, because in press it gets confusing. I'm a blonde actress. So, anyway, with Laura's character arc, texture that she sort of gets to. Because maybe sometimes people live in a world where you're having to watch your back from how you're being taken advantage of, or you feel you're in a man's world and always having to consider your place in it and making sure you're heard. And the consequences, perhaps, of that are that one can lose sight of empathy. And so that was just a beautiful consideration in that moment to, despite his choices, to make the choice to move outside of myself toward him. And she guided me so beautifully. Because, you know, the longing, I think as the actor, is that it's going to be this real connection, and that it can have all that you want it to be, because you feel the heartbreak of not having given him something so deserving. But, you know, again, the incremental moments are perhaps more palpable.
But you brought in 2 different flavors.
Yeah, exactly. That was a tough department.
Kind of on that note too, I think that's ultimately why the rancher decides to bring the horse. It's she sees how in her head and tired and just kind of disconnected Beth is, but also sees through that and wants to. But the thing about, you know, bringing something that this is how I reconnect, this is how I kind of balance out. So just jump up here. I think looking for that and trying to, a little bit of a choice I made beforehand, because it is a grand gesture and it's just kind of weird to bring a horse. Not as much in Montana, but it's a little weird. It's a little weird, but you know, that's the thing. I'm actually glad you said that, because it's a very rural thing, and where it's cold, you don't get shy about getting close and snuggle up with somebody. It's not really, you don't necessarily read into it. But this horse and connecting on this horse and having that moment where you just are present. I don't know if anybody here rides, but it's pretty immediate. It's a pretty immediate, like, serotonin delivery when you're on a horse. And it's a really quick way of reconnecting to, I don't want to call it humanity, but I'm a little bit too much of an animist to reconnecting to whatever it is that we all have.
We have the buy sign. We have to clear out the theater for another show. Thank you all for coming. Thanks